After I politely declined to cover my coworker's shift yet again, she laughed. Ugh, you're so selfish. No wonder everyone here thinks you're dead weight. When I turned to walk away, she sneered, run along, maybe HR will care about your little feelings. Instead, I gathered every Slack message, every voicemail, and filed a formal complaint. When HR called a full staff meeting, she burst into tears before I even said a word. I work in shipping coordination for a mid-sized logistics company in Fort Worth, Texas. Nothing fancy. I'm one of about 40 people at this location. It's mostly just paperwork, emails, calls with drivers, and a lot of scheduling. I'm not the loudest person. I like coming in, doing my work, and going home. That's it. I'm not here to make friends or get into drama. But somehow, drama found me. It all started about 8 months ago when Kelsey got transferred to our office. Kelsey came in like she owned the place. Always talking loud, always telling everyone how busy she was, how nobody else could possibly understand the amount of work she had to do. Truth is, she wasn't busy. She was good at looking busy. Half her day was walking around with a clipboard, taking long bathroom breaks, chatting it up with the warehouse guys, scrolling on her phone. But whenever something got missed, she was quick to say how overwhelmed she was. At first, she was friendly enough. She would joke around, share memes, complain about management like the rest of us. Then she started asking me to cover for her. Small things at first. Hey, can you finish updating these logs? I have a family thing. Can you log this shipment? I'm slammed. I didn't mind helping a coworker here and there. That's what you're supposed to do, right? But it didn't stop. The requests got bigger. Hey, can you cover Saturday for me? I have a thing. Hey, can you pick up my phone after 5 p.m.? I have an appointment. The problem was, it wasn't a one-time emergency. It was every damn week. I realized pretty quickly she wasn't asking, she was dumping her responsibilities on me so she could go live her life while I stayed late. The first time I said no, she acted confused, like I was breaking some unspoken rule. Oh, okay, sure, she said, fake smiling. Then the comments started. Every time I passed her in the hall, she'd mutter something under her breath. Must be nice to have no life. Some of us actually care about the team. I guess it's easier when you don't do real work. The first few times, I let it slide. I hate confrontation. But it kept happening. At lunch, she'd sit at other tables and whisper with other people, glancing at me. She'd sigh loudly when I walked into the break room. She even left a passive-aggressive sticky note on my computer once. Some people care about their coworkers. Guess not everyone does. I started documenting everything. Every Slack message. Every text. Every voicemail she left begging for coverage and guilt-tripping me. I wasn't planning anything at first. I just knew enough to cover myself if this got worse. Then came last Friday. I had just finished logging the last shipment before lunch. I was microwaving some leftover chicken when I heard her coming, heels clicking fast down the hall. She stormed into the break room with her clipboard. Hey, she said sharply. I need you to cover for me tomorrow. I have plans. I didn't even hesitate. Sorry, I said. I can't. She blinked, like she didn't understand the word. Then she laughed, this nasty, snorting laugh, and said loudly enough for the other people in the room to hear, Ugh, you're so selfish. No wonder everyone here thinks you're dead weight. I didn't say a word. I grabbed my coffee and turned to leave. But she wasn't done. As I was walking out, she sneered behind me, run along. Maybe HR will care about your little feelings. Something inside me snapped. Not anger. Not sadness. Just a cold, clear decision. Fine. You want HR involved? Let's get HR involved. That weekend, I put everything together. Screenshots. Voicemails. Notes from my own logs. Dates. Times. Witnesses. I didn't add my feelings. Just facts. Cold, hard facts. I sent a formal report to HR Sunday night. Attached everything. Monday morning, they called me in. Quiet meeting. No drama. I laid it all out. Gave them every bit of proof I had. The HR manager, Janet, just kept nodding, writing things down. She didn't look surprised. That said a lot. Thank you for bringing this to us, she said. We take this seriously. Tuesday morning, HR sent out a company-wide email, mandatory all-staff meeting, 10:30 a.m. Attendance required. You could feel the tension in the air. We filed into the big conference room. People were whispering. Kelsey was there, sitting up front, arms crossed, acting bored. The HR team came in, serious faces. Janet stepped up to the front. We're here to address some concerning behavior that has come to our attention. Kelsey shifted in her seat. We are speaking generally today about respect, harassment, and maintaining a professional workplace. They started reading examples, direct quotes from messages and voicemails, without naming names. But it was obvious who they were talking about. You could feel people connecting the dots. Kelsey turned red. Her arms uncrossed. She kept shifting in her seat. Then, before HR even finished reading the second example, Kelsey stood up. And she started crying. Loud, ugly crying. Sobbing. She stumbled out of the room, bumping into chairs, her bag swinging off her shoulder. Nobody said a word. HR kept going like nothing happened. Afterward, whispers spread like wildfire. People started coming up to me quietly. I always knew something was off with her. Good for you. I wish I'd said something sooner. Later that afternoon, HR sent another email. Employee K has been placed on administrative leave pending further investigation. That investigation didn't take long. By Friday, Kelsey was fired. No big announcement. Just gone. She tried to spin it on Facebook, talking about toxic environments and jealous coworkers, but the truth got out fast. And just like that, she was erased from the company. For about a week after Kelsey got fired, the office felt lighter. Like when a storm finally clears and you can breathe again. People smiled more. Laughed louder. No one was scared of getting roped into doing someone else's work anymore. But the peace didn't last. Not even close. Turns out, Kelsey wasn't done with me. The following Monday morning, I came in and found a plain white envelope sitting on my desk. No name, no return address. Inside? A handwritten note. You think you're safe? Everyone knows you're a snake. Watch your back. My heart pounded so hard I thought it would break through my chest. I looked around. Everyone was pretending to work, but I could feel eyes on me. I reported the note to HR immediately. They took it seriously, kind of. They said without proof, there wasn't much they could do. They advised me to stay aware and let them know if anything else happens. 2 days later, it happened again. This time, it wasn't a note. It was my tires. When I got off work at 6:15 p.m. and walked to the back lot where we parked, I noticed right away something was wrong. My car was sitting weird. All 4 tires had been slashed. Every single one. I just stood there, staring at my car, feeling the rage build up inside me. There were no cameras in the back lot. Management had promised to install some years ago but never got around to it. I called the police, filed a report. Filed another report with HR too. They said they would review security protocols. But again, no proof it was Kelsey. And she wasn't done. That Friday, someone sent an anonymous email to my boss. It said I had been stealing company time by taking long breaks, sabotaging shipments, and creating a hostile work environment. I found out because my boss, Mr. Larkin, called me into his office. He didn't seem angry. More tired. I don't believe a word of it, he said. But I have to document that we spoke. I thanked him. I went back to my desk. But inside, I was boiling. This wasn't just petty revenge. This was a full-blown smear campaign. It wasn't just about making my life hard, she wanted me gone. Over the next few weeks, little things kept happening. Someone subscribed my work email to dozens of spam mailing lists. Someone ordered $200 worth of pizzas to the office under my name. Someone wrote snake in permanent marker on the bathroom wall, right next to a drawing that looked suspiciously like me. And always the same feeling. Eyes on me. People whispering. People watching. Not everyone believed the rumors. But enough people looked at me sideways that I started dreading coming to work. I couldn't focus. I made mistakes. I started second-guessing everything I did. Exactly what she wanted. And it was working. One night, after another brutal day, I sat in my car in the empty parking lot, hands gripping the steering wheel so tight they hurt. I realized I had two choices. I could quit. Or I could fight back. For real this time. And I decided, no. I'm not running. Not again. I didn't sleep much that night. I kept going over everything in my head, over and over. Every note, every lie, every little thing Kelsey had done to try and ruin me. If she thought I was going to just sit there and take it, she didn't know me at all. The next morning, before heading into work, I made some calls. First, to a lawyer. Not some high-powered fancy type, just a regular employment lawyer my cousin recommended. Her name was Allison. Straightforward, no nonsense. I laid everything out for her, the harassment, the vandalism, the false accusations. Allison listened carefully. When I finished, she said, if you can prove retaliation, you might have a case not just against her, but against the company too, for failing to protect you. That caught my attention real fast. She told me to start documenting everything, even more carefully than before. She also suggested I file a formal complaint against the company for unsafe work conditions. If they can't guarantee your safety, they're liable, she said. And they know about the threats. It felt good to have a plan. But Kelsey wasn't slowing down. 2 days later, I found out how far she was willing to go. One of my coworkers, Nick, pulled me aside. Nick and I weren't close. We nodded at each other in the halls, that's about it. That day, he looked uncomfortable, like he didn't want to be talking to me. Hey, he muttered, looking around, just so you know. Kelsey's been dmang people. Offering cash if they'll say you've been stealing shipments. I blinked. Cash? He nodded. She offered me $200 to sign a fake complaint against you. Said it would speed things along. I stared at him, stunned. Did you? I asked. He shook his head fast. Hell no. I don't want anything to do with this mess. But others might take it. Just, watch yourself, okay? I thanked him. Inside, I was shaking. It wasn't just whispers anymore. She was trying to frame me. That night, I updated Allison. She told me to stay calm, that this kind of behavior, if documented, would make my case 10 times stronger. Desperate people make dumb mistakes, she said. Let her. So I waited. Then another twist hit. HR called me in again. This time, it wasn't just Janet, the HR manager. Mr. Larkin, my boss, was there too. And another woman I hadn't seen before, who introduced herself as corporate compliance officer. This wasn't a casual meeting. They sat me down, closed the door. The compliance officer, Ms. Reyes, got straight to it. We have received multiple anonymous complaints about you, she said. However, after reviewing security footage, system logs, and witness statements, we have reason to believe these complaints are not genuine. I sat there, silent, not sure where this was going. Ms. Reyes continued, we have launched a formal investigation into possible harassment and retaliation against you, including tampering with personal property. I realized then, they knew. They finally saw it. Turns out, Nick wasn't the only one Kelsey had approached. Another coworker, Sarah, from accounts payable, came forward too. She provided screenshots of Kelsey offering her a $300 Target gift card in exchange for signing a false statement. Sarah said no, and handed the proof straight to HR. That broke the dam. Once people realized Kelsey was trying to pay them off, a lot of folks started coming forward. Old messages. Sketchy offers. Things she said that crossed the line. It was like watching dominoes fall. Meanwhile, I stayed quiet. Did my job. Documented everything. The compliance officer pulled security footage from the back parking lot. It didn't show the tire slashing itself. But it did show Kelsey lurking near my car 15 minutes before my shift ended, carrying something in her hand. That was enough. HR sent another formal email. As of immediately, K is banned from all company properties pending outcome of legal investigation. They also upgraded my harassment case to priority status. But the biggest shock came 2 days later. A subpoena landed at the office. Kelsey's actions had crossed the line into criminal territory. Vandalism, harassment, witness tampering. The company had no choice but to hand over everything. Kelsey was about to have much bigger problems than me. By the time the subpoena hit, the mood in the office had completely changed. People stopped whispering. They stopped sneaking looks at me. Now when I walked through the halls, people nodded. Some smiled. Some even clapped me on the back when they thought no one was looking. They knew. Everyone knew. It came out that Kelsey had been planting lies for months, not just about me, but about others too. If she didn't like someone, she'd spread a rumor. If she wanted someone out of her way, she'd set them up. She'd gotten away with it before because no one ever fought back. I was the first person who didn't just let it go. Meanwhile, my lawyer Allison kept pushing. She filed a civil claim for harassment and emotional distress. She sent formal letters to the company for failing to protect an employee after documented threats. And she wasn't bluffing. When corporate's own legal team got involved, they realized fast how bad it looked for them. No cameras in the parking lot. Ignored warnings. No immediate action when threats were made. They were vulnerable. 2 weeks after the subpoena, I got called back into HR. Ms. Reyes was there, along with a man from corporate legal I hadn't met before. They didn't waste time. We'd like to offer a settlement, the lawyer said. Full severance. 6 months' pay. Letter of recommendation. Full non-disclosure agreement. We can have the paperwork ready by Friday. I sat there, stunned. I hadn't even filed a lawsuit yet, just a claim. And they were already offering 6 months' salary to make me walk away quietly. They were scared. Real scared. I didn't answer right away. I took the paperwork, told them I'd review it with my attorney. As soon as I got home, I called Allison. She was thrilled. They're admitting guilt without admitting guilt, she said. But let's push them for more. We sent a counteroffer, 9 months pay health insurance coverage for a year, no non-disclosure agreement. I would retain the right to discuss my experience privately or in court if needed. It was a bold move. But they accepted it. They didn't want this to go public. Meanwhile, Kelsey? She wasn't doing so well. I heard through the grapevine she'd been evicted from her apartment. No job. No references. Word had spread fast through local staffing agencies about her behavior. Even worse, she was facing criminal charges. Tampering with a motor vehicle. Witness tampering. Harassment. Those aren't just slaps on the wrist. If convicted, she could be looking at real time. Maybe not years, but enough to mess up her life permanently. The last time I ever saw her was by accident. It was 3 months later, at a grocery store on the south side of Fort Worth. I was grabbing coffee when I saw her at the end of the aisle. She looked wrecked. Hollow eyes. Cheap clothes. Holding a half-empty shopping basket with only ramen noodles and some store-brand canned soup. For a second, she looked right at me. I thought maybe she'd come over. Maybe she'd scream or beg or apologize. But she didn't. She just turned and hurried out of the store, head down, almost running. I stood there for a long time, just holding my coffee. I thought I would feel triumphant. I thought I'd feel powerful. But honestly, I just felt done. After that day in the grocery store, I never saw Kelsey again in person. But her mess didn't stop with me. It came out during the police investigation that Kelsey had pulled similar stunts at her last 2 jobs before joining our company. Fake complaints, lying to HR, spreading rumors, getting people fired if she didn't like them. No one had ever bothered to check her references properly when she was hired. The company took a huge hit when it all came out. A few months after I signed the settlement, our whole Fort Worth branch went through restructuring. That's corporate speak for, people got fired. A lot of them. Janet, the HR manager who kept saying we take it seriously but didn't really do anything early on? Gone. Fired. Mr. Larkin, my boss who had documented my warning about the tire slashing but didn't act until it was too late. Gone. Pushed out quietly. Even Ms. Reyes, the compliance officer, eventually got transferred. I heard she asked for it because she didn't want to deal with the lawsuits coming down the pipe. Because it wasn't just me. 2 other employees filed harassment claims. And one of them sued. The company paid out a lot more in settlements after me. Hundreds of thousands of dollars. All because they let one toxic person rot the place from the inside out. As for me? I took my settlement. 9 months pay up front. Health insurance fully covered for a year. I paid off my car. Paid off my credit cards. Took a little time off to breathe. Then I got a better job, better pay, better hours, way better boss, at a freight company on the north side of the city. When I told the new company what happened, without breaking any terms, they didn't flinch. They said, "Good. Sounds like you know how to stand up for yourself." But not everything was perfect for me either. I'll be honest, what happened changed me. I'm not as trusting anymore. I'm quicker to document everything. Quicker to back away from people who throw up red flags. I don't just be nice when someone tries to use me. I lost some of the soft parts of myself during all this. Some days I wonder if that's a good thing or a bad thing. But one thing I know for sure, I'm not dead weight. I never was. And now? Nobody will ever mistake me for it again. Not without a fight.